Guys, we finally did it. I think we finally found a worse love story than Twilight. Sabrina, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. It has been a little while since I've uploaded a video. I do apologize. I have been very busy between work and I recently took a trip to Rome, Italy. So I have been busy. I haven't had time to really sit down and record a video, but I finally am again today. Thank you for watching. And I am going to be reviewing a book that I have read quite a few weeks ago. Like I said, I've just kind of been a little too busy to sit down and record the video, but I still have been reading my books. But that book was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. So when I picked this up, I was really excited about it. I read Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I rated it a 4.5 stars. And so I was kind of curious to see what her take on a, fantasy romance book would be. And guys, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I think she should stick to writing her STEM romance novels personally. It was just too cheesy for me. It was too cringy. Yeah. So I'll kind of explain a little bit what the book was about. So the story follows our main character, Misery, who is a vampire. And side note, she spells vampire with a Y instead of an I, which I thought was really weird and I didn't really like. But anyways, kind of just something I've noticed that kind of bothered me a little bit throughout the book, but not really a deal breaker per se. But yes, so we have our main character, Misery, who has kind of been a political pawn almost her whole life. Her father is this powerful, high up in government vampire, and she has been used. She lived with the humans for a while to keep peace with the humans, and then she is married to a werewolf to keep peace with the werewolves. So there's all these different species. There's the werewolves, there's the humans, and there's the vampires. And that's what they're just portrayed to be. They're just portrayed to be as different species. So in typical like vampire lore, people usually become a vampire when they are bitten, and it's not really how it's portrayed in her novel. It's more so they're just born as a vampire and that's their species. So I thought that was a weird take. I thought it was going to be Twilight inspired almost, because she did reference Twilight a lot, the author did, and Love Theoretically. I will say this book was nothing like Twilight, and in fact, like I said at the beginning of the video, I think I finally found a love story that is worse than Twilight. The story goes on, there's a mystery. She has a sister that she grew up with who is human, and she goes missing, and so the story is basically about her wanting to find this missing sister. And as the story progresses, she kind of falls in love with this werewolf who she is married to. I will say I could have gone my whole life without knowing what a knot was. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. Apparently it's a part of an organ on a werewolf or like a dog on part of their private. I'm not going to go more in depth than that, but I really didn't need to know that. Romance scenes in here were very cringy to me. I didn't really like them, but I couldn't stop myself from reading necessarily. So my rating on this book, I'm very conflicted. For entertainment value, I did get some entertainment value out of it. I did continue reading it, and I was kind of interested in knowing what was going to happen next, and the ending was kind of interesting. But it just was too cringy. It's just too cringy. I had a hard time reading through scenes, especially, like I said, the romance scenes, the spice scenes. So yeah, I think if I had to rate this book, I would probably rate it maybe a 2.75. I keep wanting to think 3, but then I think back on how cringy some of the scenes were, and I have a really hard time rating it that high. So I'm going to say a 2.75. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But yeah, if you don't mind cringe and you can get through the cringe, it is kind of an interesting story. But if you hate cringe and you just don't think you can get through that, then yeah, I don't think this book is for you. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Let me know what you think of the book in the comments. Like I said, I did really like her book Love Theoretically, so I was kind of a little disappointed by this. I might read some of her other STEM romance books. Like I said, I think that maybe just fantasy is not her thing. I don't know. I'll see when I read some of her other books in the future. And you guys can let me know what you think of her other books in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys again in another one.